Hi, this is Becky Shulo with Art is an Advantage, and welcome back to my weekly video series. So we've been working through my 7 steps to marketing your art to a niche audience. This is a free guide, and if you haven't received it, you can download that by going to the link in the notes below. Now, moving right along, we started last week into step 2, which is the research step in the process. And so what I want to do this week is actually go through how this research step works and what you need to do to get started with it using a specific example. So what I'm going to do here is give you an overview in this video, and then I'm actually going to follow up with some specific tutorials that are going to show you how to do some of the steps that I talk about, or some of the things that I talk about in this video. Now, if you remember some of my points from last week, first of all, this research process or step is really an ongoing process within your art marketing uh, activities. So it's not like something we just do once. We should always be working on doing research, finding new places, contacts, information about our niche audience. The second point is that we do want to set some goals for our research so we understand when we start doing it what it is that we're looking for, of course. We want to schedule research time because, again, being that it's an ongoing process, we could go down rabbit holes with this. So what I like to do is just set aside specific times within your schedule, maybe on a weekly basis, a certain amount of time that you can sit down and work on this. And then the fourth thing is that we really need to make sure we're organized and have something, a template or a system put together, a way to capture this information so that we can use it moving forward. So again, I'm going to really just give you an overview of a specific example, and then I'm going to have some tutorials for you. Now, the example that I wanted to choose, and I actually might do more of these down the line. Let's see how this goes. But the example that I want to use, or the challenge or thing that we're going to use for our project, is finding specific opportunities within a 150-mile radius. So a scenario might be maybe an artist who is creating a body of work and wants to build a local or regional presence where you want to find people and places who are interested in your work, maybe people who collect fine art, and start to develop a collector base and make yourself known in that area as a well-known artist. So if that was the goal and that's what we want to do, we need to figure out, I'm going to pretend here we're starting from scratch. We need to find the potential opportunities within that radius. And, I recommend this scenario for a lot of artists as a starting point. So I figured this would be good. And again, I'm picking 150 miles, but you could do this 5 miles. It just depends on where you're located and what kind of market you're in, really, and how far you want to travel. Ideally, I do think that when you're going about this, I'm looking at this of places that you could physically get to from where you're located. That's how I'm going to approach this. Now, one way that we can do this, you might know in your head exactly, the specific area that you want to cover, but I do think it's helpful once you kind of set parameters for yourself to actually map it out so that you don't overlook any opportunities. And there are tools that you can do this. One tool is Calc Maps, and you can quickly draw a radius around a point on a map and then quickly see what you are dealing with as far as how far you're going to go and the places that you are going to be covering. So again, there's going to be a tutorial where I'm going to go right into Calc Maps and show you how to do that, okay? Once you have that map that area mapped out, then we need to start searching. But of course, before we start the search to find the places, what I'd like you to do is set up a place where you're going to be capturing what you learn. Now, I believe I mentioned this in my past videos, but I really like spreadsheets for this job, and Google Sheets is a free and easy way to get started. There are other spreadsheet tools that I've used that give a little more that I'm going to show you later down the line, but let's just start with one that anybody can start with. It's free, it's easy. So the second tutorial is going to show you how to set up your Google Sheets, okay? And how to set it up. And then, of course, a basic template for how I would set that up. And then once I do get it set up for you, I'm going to actually give you maybe more than one, but at least one tutorial on how I actually do these searches. Okay, so that's what you have to look forward to. I'm trying to keep these videos short, so I think it's helpful just to kind of overview and then build in the tutorials. Like I said, we'll see how this goes. If this goes well, then I might do more examples and do some different niches and whatnot. But let's start with geographic. And so this is something where I will show you the template, and you'll actually be able to get a copy of it if you want to do that. Once I post the tutorial, you'll be able to get your own link to one of these sheets. And then next week, we will talk about research hotspots. And I mentioned that before, but if you don't know what that is, you're going to find out next week. Now, keep an eye on this channel because, again, these presentation short presentable videos that I'm doing are weekly, but I am going to be dropping those tutorials in on a more frequent basis. So now that we're kind of getting into this guide, there's going to be more tutorials. So you definitely want to follow the channel if you're not doing that. As always, resources will be in the notes below, so you can always go there. So that's it. Get ready to jump into this research example with me. Thanks, and I will see you soon.